Ever since the release of Battle For Neighborville, there's been one game that the entire PvZ community has wanted. That's Garden Warfare 3. What if I told you at one point in time we was going to get a Garden Warfare 3, but it was all scrapped? Keep watching and you'll see what I mean. To begin with, we've got to go all the way back to 2016, specifically around September. At this time, Garden Warfare 2 was getting its Trials of Nermus DLC, but it turns out that part of the PopCap team was also deciding to work on Garden Warfare 3 around this time. How do we know this? Well, if you go into BFN's files, there's quite a lot of different textures and stuff left over from Garden Warfare 2. Along with this is all the rank plates. Something you might not know is the 54th rank plate had a different design before we got the one we have now. If you go into the launch version of Garden Warfare 2's files, you'll find this grey rank plate, which I'll show on screen now, and if you go into modern day, you'll find the blue one. Now, each of the Garden Warfare games has been built off of each other, so Garden Warfare 2 was built off the first game, BFN was built off Garden Warfare 2, and funnily enough Garden Warfare 1 was built off Battlefield 3. So you'd think that the blue version of the rank plate would be sitting in BFN's files since it was built off Garden Warfare 2. Well, that's not the case, because if you go in BFN's files, you'll also find the grey rank plate. Now, what does this actually mean? It means that BFN started development before we even got Frontline Fighters for Garden Warfare 2. Since the blue rank plate came with Frontline Fighters, it means they probably was working on both Trials of Nermus and BFN around the same time, or maybe released Trials of Nermus and then immediately started working on BFN. So we can put the timescale for when this game started development around September to November. Somewhere around that time it started development, probably around October. So now we know when the game was developed, what actually was in the game at the time? Well, thankfully we actually have footage of a very early version of BFN, which I'll show on screen now. So the first thing you can see is the UI is very different, but also quite similar to what we have in Garden Warfare 2. The health has been changed from our traditional number to an actual bar similar to what BFN has. We also have a sprint meter just above the abilities as well. This video was recorded by one of the sound developers for the game, and is showing how the audio changes as he shoots the different zombies. You can see the map itself is a really simple test room, and all the materials for the characters are broken as well. Each of the characters is just using their primary colours for each of their assets, like Sunflower's using the yellow for a head and the green for her petals. The zombies have a basic green for their head and then purple or whatever colour their clothing is for their clothing. If you look at the top, you can see a bunch of different barrels. Considering each of them have labels above them, I believe they're meant to be used to shoot and then it spawns an AI. One of the AI you can see is actually the Keelhole, which is the Scallywag Imp. That means this build has to exist around the time Trials of Nermus released or just afterwards, because obviously Scallywag Imp was in development at that time. Now there's another test video this person uploaded as well. This video seems to be related to the quest givers in BFN, mainly their dialogue. It shows a Garden Warfare 2 scientist and he's just talking, it plays different sounds and it shows how the character's mouth moves relating to the audio. The description of the video describes this as a gibberish generator that real-time drives mouth burns and triggers different animation states and gestures. This shows that the quest lines in BFN were definitely planned for even a very early version of Garden Warfare 3 as well. You can also see from the other test video that both of these videos take place on the same map as well, meaning that both of these things are from the exact same time. Just like the first two games, BFN has a lot of files relating to older weapons from Garden Warfare 2. A lot of these weapons are different abilities and weapons for characters that got changed in BFN, such as Citron and Super Brains. I'll quickly list every single weapon that's sitting around in BFN. So starting off with the plants, we have Citron. Citron has his old beam in BFN, along with his shield and his Citron ball as well. Along with this, the skeleton for his model is sitting around as well for some reason. I'd assume this was because of the shield or the ball. As for Korn, he has his old butter barrage in the files, but it doesn't really work. Rose has every single one of her abilities from Garden Warfare 2 left over. This is Time Snare, Arcane Enigma and Goatify. Each of their stats follow the 2016 build of the game, meaning that Goatify doesn't have like the weird gravity thing it has now, so you can fire it across the map and it will most likely land. Time Snare doesn't have its 10-second duration like it did at launch build of Garden Warfare 2. Keep in mind these weapons use placeholder effects, because of the case all the effects from Garden Warfare 2 were broken in BFN. Going on to the pea shooter, he has his old hyper ability left over. It doesn't make him quicker, but it does let him jump higher, and it uses the pea souped little propeller animation as well for some reason. Going on to the chomper, he has his his old spikeweed and goop as well. Funnily enough, the spikeweed allows him to eat zombies once they're snared. The goop just makes them move slower. It doesn't have any form of like effects or animations or anything, so it is literally just a stun buff. The sunflower has her old heal flower in the game. Obviously the heal flower itself has been updated in the new BFN style, but funnily enough there is a few other changes to it too. It doesn't last as long, and it also is completely invincible too. Cactus still has her old primaries sitting around along with the tall nuts as well. The tall nuts have no texture on them, but Cactus's primary works the exact same as Garden Warfare 2. So now onto the zombies side. The imp doesn't have anything left over from Garden Warfare 2 since I believe they replaced everything with the new stuff, so we're going to move straight on to Captain Deadbeard. Deadbeard is the only character from Garden Warfare 2 who got a completely new weapon that's in like the picnic prototype file and doesn't have his old one left over. But he does have cannon rodeo left over. This doesn't come with its old animations, but he does fire little cannons that do the same damage as Garden Warfare 2. And once he runs out of ammo he'll leave the ability. Next is Super Prince, who just like Rose has all of his old abilities left over. First we've got the beam that has its stats from 2016 instead of the stats they gave it in 2018. Then we've got the kick that is a bit different to Garden Warfare 2 because of the way the physics are, and it seems to do damage over time to plants instead for some reason. Finally there's Turbo Twister that has no sound effects, but it does the 8 damage it used to, and it has a little effect that it plays on the plants that's probably just the same as what the regular Turbo Twister uses. But now we're going to move on to the Soldier, who actually has Tank Commander's weapon left over, or specifically the AI version from Garden Warfare 1. In Garden Warfare 1 all the AI used to have unique weapons just for them so they could balance them more instead of just using an all-round thing that changed damage for all AI based on difficulty. Now I've looked into why there's weapons even in the files, and it seems like a lot of the components for it are used by Urk in game. My guess is when they were cleaning up the files from old Garden Warfare 2 assets, they realised that they need to leave this weapon in so Urk would work, so I'm guessing that's why it's left over. But you can see on screen here, it works pretty similar. It does a weird screen shake whenever you hit the ground. It has no effects, and it does 40 damage instead of 60, probably because of the AI balancing. As for the Engineer, he has multiple weapons left over as well. His primary isn't here because I think they built the new one off of the Garden Warfare 2 version, but he does have the Bolt Blaster, Turbo Jackhammer, and the Sonic Grenade in the game too. So the Bolt Blaster works the same as it does in Garden Warfare 2, but the effects are the same as what the Heavy Helper uses instead now, and it uses Engineer's sprinting animation now instead. The Jackhammer weapon doesn't even work anymore, but the Turbo Jackhammer applies all these sounds and the buffs, but it doesn't use the animation, and the Sonic Grenade works just how you'd expect, but it just has no textures on the model anymore. Scientist has a lot of his abilities left over as well. He has the Heal Beam, the Heal Station, the Heal Bomb, and the Sticky Bomb. So first of all, the Heal Beam doesn't even work anymore, so I can't showcase that. But the Heal Bomb actually has a lot of changes compared to Garden Warfare 2. First, it seems to move a lot faster. I think this is a bug mainly because of how they changed all the weapons in this game, but it also does healing over time instead of just one big burst. If anyone stood near it, they'll get healed. It's pretty overpowered, to be honest. This makes me think that Scientist was meant to have this Heal Bomb in BFN, or it was getting changed for Garden Warfare 3 instead. As for the Sticky Bombs, it works just the same as it does in Garden Warfare 2, but it doesn't have effects, and it also gives you a bit of XP if you stick it to an enemy. The Heal Station has a lot of changes though. It doesn't last as long, similar to the Heal Flower, and it also heals a little bit more as well. I'd assume that they were planning on once again changing this up for Garden Warfare 3 or BFN as well, before it got scrapped for what we have now. Finally is the All-Star. The only thing he has left over is the shield dummy from Garden Warfare 2. The shield decoy and the future dummy are nowhere to be seen, but the regular dummies here with no textures. You can see there's quite a lot of different weapons left over in BFN from Garden Warfare 2. A lot of the weapons are using the balancing from 2016 Garden Warfare 2, but some of them have some changes that weren't in Garden Warfare 2, which makes me think that they were planned for the third game instead. Obviously all this probably got scrapped when they decided to go with the idea of BFN instead of Garden Warfare 3, but we can only speculate at the minute. During 2018 and 2019, a bunch of leaks had came out regarding BFN. These leaks involved multiple abilities, multiple characters, and all the details relating to the game. So in this section of the video, we're going to discuss all these leaks. So these leaks won't be in any order because I don't remember exactly when each thing came out, so I'll just mention all of them together. So the first leak was a bunch of text that we got. It was apparently from somebody who went out and tested BFN, where they exposed that the game had 20 classes, no variants, and all the other stuff that we've become familiar with. If I'm not wrong, this was discussed in rather a Wolfie or a Zero video back then. I'm not really too sure, I just remember this leak happening. But up to this point, this is the first time we actually heard how the game is going to play, other than just like images, which I'll go on to in a minute. But you can probably imagine that a lot of the community was quite annoyed over the idea of no variants back then, and there still are now. But the next leak, I think this was the first one. I at least know this one came before the Acorn leak, and it is for Superbrains' Shield. Now, I know for certain this image exists because I remember it happening, I remember seeing it a few years ago, but I can't find it on Google anymore, so I don't know if it's been taken down or what. But the premise of the image is this: it's Superbrains from BFN holding out the shield on just a white test map. If anyone has the image, let me know, send it to me on Discord and I'll link it in the description if you wanted to see it, but for now, I don't have it. So the first of the two class leaks is Acorn. The Reddit post this was sent on is saying that the guy who leaked Acorn is the same guy who leaked the Superbrains image, so that kind of proves once again that it exists. But you can see here it's Acorn on, honestly, what looks like it might be Z-Tech Factory. That's just going off the back brick wall. I don't really recall seeing these brick walls anywhere else in the game other than the Z-Tech Factory map. In the comments, the original poster also gives some details about this too, and it mentions Acorn having a shotgun weapon, which is very similar to what you can find in the files too, but there's nothing left for the shotgun now. The final leaked character is Nightcap, and if you look at the image you can see she's using different textures to what she uses in game. It's a lot harder to make out where this image was taken. I thought it would have been in the backyard battleground because of the little flowers in the background, but it might not be, I'm not really too sure, so for now it's probably a map in BFN and I just don't know where it is. There's not much else to say about this image really because the original post didn't leave anything in the description, so this is all we have for Nightcap at the moment. It's been 6 years since BFN released, and it's becoming quite clear that we're never going to get a Garden Warfare 3 now. But it's quite fun to think about how BFN could have turned out to be Garden Warfare 3. It could have been bad, it could have been good, we don't really know, but to be fair, I've come to appreciate what BFN is, and I hope some of you have as well. The game has its own little charm to it that I think a lot of us haven't really appreciated that much. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, maybe subscribe if you want to. And also let me know if you want me to look into some of the unused BFN content like Iceberg Lettuce and the Super Bean as well. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.